You make me the happiest man alive. Will you marry me?
Oh my god. Yes. Yes, I will.
She never expected to find love in wrinkled scrubs, but sometimes life's greatest gifts come when we least expect them. If you enjoy heartwarming stories about unexpected connections, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that will warm your soul and remind you that love finds us in the most surprising moments. Emma rushed through the doors of Café Lumière, her heart pounding against her ribcage. She was late, 20 minutes late, to be exact, for a blind date her well-meaning but persistent friend Sophia had arranged. The café buzzed with the evening crowd, soft jazz playing in the background as Emma scanned the room, looking for a man with dark hair and a kind smile, as Sophia had described. Her hand instinctively went to her hair, trying to smooth the tangled mess that had formed during her 12-hour shift at Memorial Hospital. She hadn't had time to change out of her light blue scrubs, still bearing the faint stain of cranberry juice from when her elderly patient Mr. Jenkins had knocked over his cup during lunch. The hospital had been chaotic today. A multi-car accident on the highway had brought in a wave of trauma patients, and Emma, being one of the senior nurses in the ER, couldn't leave until the situation stabilized. She spotted him at a corner table, absently stirring a cup of coffee while checking his watch. He looked up, his eyes meeting hers, and Emma felt a flush of embarrassment wash over her. This wasn't how first impressions were supposed to go. Taking a deep breath, she approached the table. "Are you Noah?" she asked, her voice betraying her nervousness. The man stood up, revealing his tall frame. He was handsome in an understated way, warm brown eyes, a strong jawline softened by the beginning of a smile, and yes, dark hair that curled slightly at the temples. "I am," he replied, extending his hand. "And you must be Emma." "I'm so sorry," she blurted out, gesturing to her uniform. "I wore my work uniform. I meant to change, but there was an emergency at the hospital, and I couldn't get away, and then I was already late, and I thought it would be worse to make you wait even longer, Anne." Noah's laugh interrupted her rambling. It was a warm sound, genuine and kind. "It's okay," he said, pulling out a chair for her. "Actually, it's more than okay." Emma sat down, confusion replacing her embarrassment. "What do you mean?" Noah's eyes softened as he settled back into his seat. "My daughter, Lily, she's 6, she was in Memorial Hospital 3 months ago. Appendicitis. She was terrified, and there was this nurse who sat with her before surgery, explained everything using her stuffed animals as patients." He paused, studying Emma's face. "She had the kindest eyes. Just like yours." Emma's breath caught in her throat. "Pediatric ward, room 304. Little girl with a stuffed elephant named Ellie?" Noah's eyes widened. "That was you?" "I was covering a shift for a colleague," Emma explained, memories flooding back. "Lily was so brave. She told me she was scared but that her daddy said it was okay to be scared sometimes. She still talks about that nurse," Noah said softly. "About how she made the scary hospital feel safe." He shook his head in disbelief. "And now here you are, in your scrubs, apologizing when I should be thanking you." Emma felt warmth spread through her chest. "I was just doing my job." "No," Noah said firmly. "What you did went beyond your job. Lily was admitted on the anniversary of her mother's death. I was barely holding it together, and then you came in with your gentle manner and somehow made everything feel less overwhelming." The revelation hung between them, creating an unexpected intimacy. Emma had no idea that the little girl with the bright eyes and brave smile had lost her mother, or that the worried father pacing the hallway was carrying such profound grief. "I'm sorry about your wife," Emma said softly. Noah nodded, a shadow crossing his face. "Cancer. It's been 3 years now. Some days are harder than others, but Lily, she's my light." "She's lucky to have you," Emma said, meaning every word. "We're managing," Noah replied with a small smile. "I'm an architect, which thankfully allows me to work from home most days." My mother helps with Lily when I have site visits or client meetings. Emma found herself relaxing, the initial awkwardness of her late arrival and inappropriate attire forgotten. Architecture? That's fascinating. What kind of projects do you work on? As Noah described his current project, renovating a historic library downtown, Emma was struck by the passion in his voice. He spoke about preserving the building's character while making it functional for modern use, his hands moving expressively as he explained the challenges of balancing historical integrity with accessibility requirements. "I'm boring you, aren't I?" he asked suddenly, looking embarrassed. "Not at all," Emma assured him. "It's refreshing to hear someone talk about their work with such enthusiasm. Most of my blind dates spend the entire time either bragging or complaining." Noah laughed. "I've had my share of those too. My last date spent 45 minutes telling me why her ex was literally the worst person ever, while simultaneously texting him under the table." Emma winced. "That's impressive multitasking, at least." Their laughter mingled, and Emma felt something shift between them, a connection forming, unexpected but welcome. The waitress approached their table, and Emma suddenly realized they hadn't even looked at the menu. "Should we order some food?" she suggested. "I haven't eaten since, actually, I can't remember when I last ate." Noah's expression turned concerned. "That settles it, we're definitely ordering. Healthcare workers need to take care of themselves too, you know," says the single dad who probably forgets to eat regularly as well, Emma countered with a smile. "Guilty as charged," Noah admitted. "Though Lily keeps me accountable. She's very serious about her meal times." They ordered comfort food for both of them, pasta for Emma and a burger for Noah, and as they waited for their meals, the conversation flowed naturally. Emma told Noah about her journey to becoming a nurse, how she'd initially planned to go to medical school but found her calling in nursing instead. "I like the continuous patient contact," she explained. "Doctors diagnose and prescribe, which is crucial, but nurses are there through it all, the pain, the fear, the small victories. We're witnesses to people's most vulnerable moments." Noah nodded thoughtfully. "That's how I felt when Sarah, my wife, was sick. The doctors were in and out, but the nurses, they became like family." Their food arrived, and Emma realized how hungry she was. They ate and continued talking, sharing stories about their lives. Noah told her about Lily's recent obsession with space, how their living room had been transformed into a NASA command center, with cardboard boxes and Christmas lights. "She wants to be an astronaut nurse," he said with pride. "So she can help sick aliens, apparently." Emma laughed. "That's adorable. And forward-thinking, interplanetary healthcare could be the next frontier." As the evening progressed, Emma found herself increasingly drawn to Noah. There was a gentleness to him, a quiet strength that she found compelling. He spoke of his daughter with such love, of his work with such passion, and he listened, truly listened, when Emma talked about her own life. When the check came, Noah insisted on paying. "Please," he said when Emma protested. "You've had a long day saving lives. Let me get this one." "Only if you'll let me get the next one," Emma replied, then felt her cheeks flush at the presumption that there would be a next time. Noah's smile widened. "I'd like that very much." They walked out of the cafe together, the night air cool against Emma's skin. The street was quiet, most shops closed for the evening, but a few restaurants still glowed with warm light. "Can I walk you to your car?" Noah offered. Emma nodded, suddenly shy. They walked in comfortable silence for a moment before Noah spoke again. "I have to admit something," he said, his voice hesitant. "When Sophia described you, she mentioned you were a nurse. I almost cancelled." Emma looked at him in surprise. "Why?" Noah sighed, running a hand through his hair. "After Sarah died, I spent so much time in hospitals. The smell, the sounds, they all reminded me of losing her. I thought dating someone who worked in that environment would just bring it all back. I understand, Emma said softly. Hospitals can hold traumatic memories. But then you showed up in your scrubs, Noah continued, and instead of feeling that old dread, I remembered how the nurses made Sarah's last days more comfortable. How they supported not just her, but me and Lily too. He stopped walking, turning to face Emma. And then finding out you were the nurse who helped Lily, it felt like... Like what? Emma prompted when he trailed off. Like maybe the universe was trying to tell me something, Noah finished, looking slightly embarrassed. That sounds cheesy, doesn't it? Emma shook her head. Not cheesy. Hopeful. They reached her car, an aging sedan with a child safety seat visible in the back, a reminder of her weekend visits with her nephew. You have kids? Noah asked, noticing the seat. No, that's for my nephew, Jake. I watch him on weekends sometimes to give my sister a break. She's a single mom too. Noah nodded in understanding. It takes a village. It does, Emma agreed. She hesitated, then added, I'd love to meet Lily properly someday. When you're ready, of course. Noah's expression softened. She'd like that. She still has the little nurse bear you gave her, the one with the tiny stethoscope. Emma remembered, it was a small gift she kept in her locker for young patients who needed extra comfort. I'm glad it helped. They stood by her car, neither quite ready to say goodbye. Finally, Noah took a deep breath. I know this might be forward, but would you like to come to Lily's space-themed birthday party next Saturday? It's just a small gathering at the park, some of her friends from school, my mother, a few neighbors. Nothing fancy. Emma felt a flutter of excitement. I'd love to. Should I bring anything? Just yourself, Noah said, then added with a smile, though if you wanted to wear your scrubs again, I think Lily would be thrilled to show off her nurse friend to her classmates. Emma laughed. I think I can arrange that. Maybe I'll even bring some clean gauze and bandages so the kids can practice wrapping up their stuffed animals. You'd be the hit of the party, Noah said, his eyes crinkling at the corners. As they exchanged phone numbers, Emma felt a sense of possibility unfurling within her. This wasn't how she'd expected the evening to go, rushing from work, apologizing for her appearance, only to discover that her professional identity was what had created this unexpected connection. Thank you for understanding about tonight, she said as she unlocked her car. About the scrubs and being late. Noah's expression turned serious. Emma, you spend your days caring for others at their most vulnerable. The last thing you should ever apologize for is the uniform that represents that dedication. He paused, then added softly, besides, I think you look beautiful, scrubs and all. The compliment warmed her from within. Good night, Noah. Good night, Emma. Drive safely. As she drove home, Emma couldn't help but smile. What had started as a potentially disastrous blind date had turned into something unexpectedly meaningful. All because she hadn't had time to change out of her work uniform. 6 months later, Emma stood in front of the bathroom mirror, adjusting her dress, a simple blue sundress that Noah had once said matched her eyes. From the living room, she could hear Noah and Lily's voices, punctuated by laughter as they played some game involving elaborate sound effects. Emma. Lily called. Hurry up. Daddy says the reservation is at 7. Coming, sweetheart. Emma replied, giving herself one last look in the mirror before joining them. The past months had been a journey of gradual integration into each other's lives. After Lily's birthday party, where Emma had indeed worn her scrubs and brought medical supplies for a space hospital station that became the highlight of the event, Noah had invited her to dinner at their home. One dinner became 2, then weekly movie nights where the 3 of them would pile onto the couch with popcorn and blankets. Emma had been careful, mindful of Lily's feelings and the sacred space that Noah and his daughter had created in their grief. But Lily, with her open heart and resilient spirit, had welcomed Emma with enthusiasm, especially after learning that Emma was the hospital angel, as Lily called her, who had helped her when she was sick. Noah had been equally thoughtful, never rushing their relationship, always checking in with both Emma and Lily about their comfort levels as their lives became increasingly intertwined. Tonight was special. It marked 6 months since that first date at Café Lumière. Noah had arranged for his mother to pick up Lily after dinner for a sleepover, giving him and Emma a rare evening alone. Emma entered the living room to find Noah and Lily engaged in what appeared to be an elaborate spaceship emergency scenario, with couch cushions serving as control panels and a blanket fort as the engine room. "Oh no, Captain Lily!" Noah exclaimed dramatically. "The oxygen levels are dropping. What should we do?" Lily, wearing a colander as a helmet, pointed to an imaginary button on the coffee table. "Press the emergency button, First Officer Daddy. We need to call for backup." Noah pretended to press the button, then looked up at Emma with a smile. "Ah, perfect timing. The backup has arrived." Lily turned, her face lighting up when she saw Emma. "Commander Emma. We need your medical expertise. The aliens have space flu." Emma immediately dropped to her knees beside the fort, slipping seamlessly into the game. "Space flu, you say? This is serious, Captain. What are the symptoms?" As Lily launched into a detailed description of the imaginary aliens' ailments, which somehow involved both polka dots and hiccups that made them float, Emma caught Noah's gaze over the little girl's head. His eyes were filled with warmth and something deeper that made Emma's heart skip. After successfully treating the aliens with a combination of imaginary medicine and tickles that left Lily giggling on the floor, it was time to get ready for dinner. Noah's mother arrived to pick up Lily, who hugged Emma tightly before leaving. "Have fun at dinner," Lily said, then added in a stage whisper, "Daddy has a surprise for you." Noah groaned. "Lily, what did we say about secrets?" "That they're hard to keep when they're exciting," Lily replied with an unrepentant grin before skipping out the door with her grandmother. Once they were alone, Noah pulled Emma into his arms. "Sorry about that. She's been bursting with excitement all day." Emma smiled against his chest. "Should I be worried about this surprise?" "Definitely not," Noah assured her, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "Though I'm reconsidering telling Lily anything I want kept quiet in the future." Dinner was at an elegant restaurant overlooking the river, the kind of place that required reservations weeks in advance. As they were led to a table by the window, Emma marveled at how far they'd come from that first night when she'd arrived flustered and in scrubs. "What are you thinking about?" Noah asked as they settled into their seats. "Our first date," Emma admitted. "How I was so embarrassed about wearing my uniform, and how it turned out to be the very thing that connected us." Noah reached across the table to take her hand. "I've been thinking about that too. How sometimes the things we're most self-conscious about are actually our greatest strengths." The waiter brought champagne that Noah had apparently pre-ordered, pouring 2 glasses before discreetly withdrawing. "To 6 months," Noah said, raising his glass. "To unexpected beginnings," Emma added, clinking her glass against his. As they enjoyed their meal, they reminisced about the past months, their first proper date without the pressure of a blind setup, the first time Emma had stayed over, sleeping on the couch because Lily had been home, the weekend trip to the beach where Lily had declared that Emma made the best sandcastles and therefore needed to be included in all future family vacations. "You know," Noah said as they finished their entrees, "before I met you, I wasn't sure I'd ever feel this way again. After Sarah died, I focused entirely on Lily, on making sure she felt secure and loved. The idea of letting someone new into our lives seemed impossible." Emma squeezed his hand. "I know. And I've never wanted to replace Sarah or erase her memory. She'll always be Lily's mother, always be an important part of who you both are. That's one of the things I love most about you," Noah said softly. "Your compassion, your understanding. The way you've honored Sarah's place in our lives while creating your own." The waiter cleared their plates and asked if they wanted dessert. Noah nodded, though Emma noticed. The waiter cleared their plates and asked if they wanted dessert. Noah nodded, though Emma noticed he seemed suddenly nervous, his fingers tapping lightly against the tablecloth. "Are you okay?" she asked when the waiter left. Noah took a deep breath. "Remember how Lily mentioned a surprise?" Emma nodded, her heart beginning to beat faster. "I had this whole speech planned," Noah said, reaching into his pocket. "About how you came into our lives when we least expected it, how you've brought so much joy and healing to both Lily and me." He withdrew a small velvet box, and Emma felt her breath catch. "But I think what I really want to say is simpler than that," Noah continued, his voice steady despite the emotion in his eyes. "Emma, you showed up to our first date in Scrubs, apologizing for being exactly who you are, a dedicated, compassionate caregiver. And in that moment, I think I already knew." He opened the box, revealing a delicate ring with a sapphire surrounded by small diamonds. "I knew that the woman who would rush from saving lives to keep a date with a stranger, who would comfort a scared little girl with such kindness, who would embrace our complicated story without trying to rewrite it, that woman was someone I wanted in my life forever." Emma felt tears welling in her eyes as Noah slid from his chair to one knee beside the table. "Emma Hayes, will you marry me? Will you continue building this beautiful, unexpected life with Lily and me?" The restaurant had gone quiet, other diners watching with smiles and anticipation. But Emma barely noticed them. In that moment, there was only Noah, looking up at her with hope and love in his eyes. "Yes," she whispered, then louder, "Yes, absolutely yes." The restaurant erupted in applause as Noah slipped the ring onto her finger and rose to kiss her, his arms wrapping around her waist as she clung to his shoulders. When they finally broke apart, both laughing and wiping away tears, the waiter appeared with a dessert plate bearing the words, "Congratulations," in chocolate script. "Lily helped me pick the ring," Noah confessed as they sat back down. "She said it had to be blue like your scrubs from the day you met her at the hospital." Emma looked down at the sapphire, its deep blue catching the light. "It's perfect. She's perfect. You're perfect." Noah shook his head, smiling. "We're not perfect. But we're perfect for each other." As they shared the dessert, making plans and dreaming about their future together, Emma thought about how life's most beautiful moments often come from its most unexpected turns. How a delayed shift, a blind date, and an apology for wearing scrubs had led her here, to this night, to this man, to the promise of a family she hadn't known she was looking for. 1 year later, Emma stood in the hospital corridor, checking a patient's chart when she felt a tug on her scrubs. Looking down, she found Lily, now 7, grinning up at her. "Surprise, Mama Emma!" Lily exclaimed, holding up a paper bag. "We brought you lunch." Noah appeared behind his daughter, carrying a bouquet of daisies, Emma's favorite. "Happy anniversary," he said, leaning in to kiss her cheek. Emma glanced at her watch in surprise. "Our wedding anniversary isn't for another 3 months." Noah's eyes twinkled. "Not that anniversary. It's been exactly 2 years since you showed up at Café Lumière in your scrubs, apologizing for being exactly who you needed to be." Emma felt a rush of emotion as she looked at her husband and stepdaughter, her family, created from an apology that had turned into the greatest blessing of her life. "We thought you might be too busy to change for dinner tonight," Noah continued, "so we brought dinner to you instead. And I made cookies," Lily added proudly. "With sprinkles because sprinkles make everything better, even hospital days." Emma knelt down to hug Lily, then stood to embrace Noah. "I love you both so much." "We love you too," Noah replied, his arms strong around her. Scrubs and all. As they set up their impromptu picnic in the staff break room, Emma watched Noah helping Lily arrange the food while chatting with some of Emma's colleagues. Her heart felt full to bursting with gratitude for this life they'd built together. Sometimes, the things we apologize for become the very things that lead us to where we're meant to be. For Emma, it had been a pair of wrinkled scrubs and a late arrival. For Noah, it had been opening his heart to new possibilities after loss. And for Lily, it had been the courage to welcome another person into the special world she shared with her father. Their story hadn't ended with, happily ever after. Instead, it continued each day, through challenges and joys, through ordinary moments and milestone celebrations. It continued in the home they'd created together, in the traditions they were building, in the love that had found them when they weren't looking. And it had all begun with 5 simple words: "I'm sorry I wore my work uniform." Words that, as it turned out, required no apology at all. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more heartwarming content about life's unexpected journeys. Remember that sometimes our perceived imperfections are exactly what lead us to our greatest blessings. Share in the comments a time when something you thought was a mistake turned out to be exactly right.